Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is July 17th, 2021. This is episode 365. Today's book, Moths. This is number 2 of 6 coming from Awa Upshot. It's at $3.99 and it's rated teen. And on the cover here we have Emily Kai, who has gone through a transformation. The first issue, she's decided to do what's something called a reborn. This is kind of something they decide to do just to see what their powers. They'll be granted some kind of power, and they do this. They only have 6 months to live after that, so there's not like a lot of time left for them to explore this power. And the power they get might be something just very minute, something not considered to be one of the big powers, like flying or being invincible or being able to just swim underwater forever or things like that. So in Emily's case, she went through the reborn process at the end of the last issue. We didn't know what her powers will be, but in this one, we find out that the power she has is empathy, and it's not considered one of the big powers. Not one of the ones that will make her a celebrity. So on the cover here we have Emily, and she's this is from her reborn ceremony where she's transforming. She actually floated up and then just kind of fainted, which is usually the case for all these reborn incidents. Okay, let's first take a look to see who worked on this. It's Moths, 5 months now. She's only got 5 months left to live. The writer is J. Michael Straczynski. Mike Choi is the artist and cover artist, and the letterer is Sal Cipriano. Okay, and I want to just say this is a recommend. It's just kind of an interesting book. It's not one of my favorites, but I think this second issue I thought was better than the first. The first one was a long setup, and I think it took too long to get to that point. This one we kind of jump right in. She's being someone's watching an interview of Emily, and because she wants to use Emily's power, so she's watching this YouTube about Emily. She direct messages her, gets her address, and she goes and visits her. And her name is, I believe, Lori. Okay, so we see Lori is meeting Emily for the first time. She says, basically gives her the story, and the art in this is really nice. I really do like the art. It's almost photographic, so I'm thinking that maybe some kind of modeling software was used to make it. But you can see the nice definitions on here. But Lori's brother has gone missing. He was someone that used to go hiking. Sometimes he'd go by himself, sometimes he'd go with a friend. And this one time they found a body and they said he jumped. And the sister doesn't believe it. She thought he had everything going for her. And so they decide to go out to Colorado and explore. Maybe Emily can pick up some vibe of what her brother was feeling at those last moments, because sometimes it can work. This power can work that way. Well, they go out to this place, and in some place in Colorado, and she checks around and she feels absolutely nothing. And she thinks about lying to Lori and tell her that he jumped, but she decides against it. She just tells him felt absolutely nothing. So they're having dinner when they're approached by this man that Lori knows. It's actually her friend Brian, her brother Brian's friend Chris. And so Emily is introduced to Chris, and as soon as they touch, she begins to pick up his feelings and his mood and everything else, and the flashback to where it turns out that Chris was actually with Brian the night he died. And he tells Brian his plan he says, my life's going nowhere, but I'm going to take a lot of people out with me. He shows this, looks like I don't know if that's a 50 caliber bullet or something like that. It's pretty Pretty good sized bullet though. He says, just don't be at the mall. I'm warning you because you're my friend. And he says, well, I'm going to stop you. I'm not going to let you do it. And he pushes Brian off then, you know. So Emily knows exactly, and she confronts Brian or Chris at that moment. Chris runs out of the place. They chase him down to Chris's house. She busts through the door. She says she's got this power she never felt before, so she's got, I guess, some extra strength too. Either that or she used a good karate chop. I'm not quite sure, but and she confronts Chris just as he's leaving, and he's got his defective man t-shirt on. So he's pointing the gun at her, and you can see it's not the same gun that he was holding the bullet up for. This looks more like a shotgun. It's not a 50 cal. I don't know that much about guns, but that bullet would not fit in that gun. So she starts just concentrating deep. She thinks she's going to die, and she starts bleeding because she's concentrating so hard. I'm not sure where she's bleeding from, if he nicked her with the gun or something, but it's coming above her eye, not out of her eye or ears or anything. And it kind of goes back. She can kind of sense his whole life, and she's able to kind of take control of him to a point where he's no longer able to carry out what he was planning to do. And in fact, it gets to a point where she just sends all these feelings onto him. So this turns out it's a bigger power than empathy, obviously. And you can see he's in taking this. When the police arrive, they find him like this, still just kind of like frozen like a statue. So that's where this one ends. So Emily's obviously got some other power. We're going to find out more what she can do with it. It's not just empathy. So it's pretty good issue. I mean, the first one I just thought I'd hang around because not too much happened in it besides her being reborn at the very end. But this one was kind of cool. So this is a recommend. It will get the good excavating seal of approval when I finish here. Let's take a look at issue number 3. It's going to be on sale on August 18th. It's the 6th issue, as I said before. Sometimes 6 months is a lifetime. So this one was called 5 months. I'm assuming the next one's going to be called 4 months as we count down. And here's some interior art for the next one as well. So you can see that art is really strong. Almost photographic, like it looks like a foreground, background out of focus type thing. Okay, let's take a look to see some other stuff that's on sale for our Upshot right now. They have something coming out called Not All Robots. This looks very interesting. It's by Mark Russell, coming out August 4th. Welcome to the future, mankind. Your services are no longer required. So I'm assuming maybe the robots have taken over everything and the humans are just there to be there. So let's see what else we got in here. We have Chariot. We are reviewing Chariot on this channel, so you might want to stop back in and check that out. I think we have done 4 issues. Issue 5 comes out July 28th. It's by Brian Edward Hill. Chariot, Ride or Die. And I don't know if there was, yeah, we got this one. The Resistance Uprising. I believe this is the 2nd or 3rd arc for the Resistance. And that's another J. Michael Straczynski book as well. Fight the power with power. Okay. And I don't know if we had any other ads in here. Nope. Fight Girls, number 2 issues on sale August 11th. I did not pick this one up. Frank Cho is the either the artist or the writer or both on it. It's a 5-issue series. We have something coming out new, Telepaths, another J. Michael Straczynski book, on sale September 1st for the 1st issue. So I was putting some good stuff out here, and here's their current lineup for this month. All right. Oh, Marjorie Finnegan. There was an ad for that in here. I did not see that. Okay, so let's go ahead and award this comic, the Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating Seal of Approval, given out only on this channel by Indie Comics Jones, except no substitutes. Please like. If that doesn't work, please subscribe. Please leave comments. and we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by and watching this review. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes bidding you adieu.